All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, nailed as a great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And this is just a quick lesson to the spirit on dealing with the famine that's coming to America, Babylon the Great. In all honest and actuality, the famine is already here, okay? The famine is already here. We're just not experiencing it yet at these local supermarkets or big supermarkets or the meat markets that we may go to, time after time. Okay, but it's already here. It's already in the works. You see? Because, with this whole COVID-19 pandemic situation, you had a lot of meat packaging plants being shut down, okay? And with those plants being shut down for quite some time, you had the local farmers, which was basically backed up with meat to the point where they were so backed up with meat in their freezers and things like that, where they had nowhere to store the extra meat as they were continuing to butcher, while all of a sudden hope came just within a blink of an eye, okay? And that's not just saying not with meat. That's the same thing that was going on with milk, eggs, potatoes, all these different things, onions. When you type in, these different food shortages or these different items that people may be short on, in these different farmers will actually pop up. And they will tell you, and not just tell you, they will show you of how much supply that they have wasted, and had to toss out due to this whole COVID-19 pandemic. All right. And that was their only option because they weren't able to, sell it to these different stores or get it off to their different consumers, right? Of who they regularly sell it to. Okay, now you had some that were giving it away to locals around their area, but majority of them, they just tossed it out because they had tons of it. Okay, tons that they had to just waste, because there was nothing they could do with it. You see, they were just sitting on product, and these products were what? They were going bad. All right, and this is what took place. So, like I said, we're not experiencing the famine as quite yet, but it's coming. And you can see the different ways how it's coming because, I go to the meat market to get my meat. And, I used to get 15-pound bag of wings. It was roughly about, 39. Then I seen it jump to 42. But now all of a sudden when I go there now, it skyrocketed to 59. And it's going to do nothing but increase more and more. Okay? That's all it's going to do. Okay? So I want to touch on this on a lesson is dealing with the famine. But the signs are here. Okay? And what I'm going to touch on in this lesson is the famines. All right? So this is the book of Matthew 24, verse 1. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he had sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, or I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you have a lot of people that are doing now. Okay, you have a lot of people that may say, to the people that they are the Messiah. Okay, they are the chosen one that was to come back. Right? You have a lot of people say they are anointed, that the Spirit is dealing with them. Right? But it says, and shall deceive many. And a lot of people have been and are still being deceived until this day. Verse 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And this is what you're hearing all over the media. You're hearing of these different wars, okay? These skirmishes and outbreaks and these different attacks on one another, right? And then you hear the little different rumors of wars. You hear all these things, all right? But it says the end is not yet. It says, for nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And this is what we're trying to continually tell our people, that nothing but sorrows, tribulation, and destruction, all these things are coming. Okay, Jacob's trouble. Our people, he is about to put our people through complete hell, which is a state of affliction. All right. Let's get the point again. It says, for nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. You see? And we're about to experience a famine on a whole nother level, man. Because the way he is setting us up, he is stockpiling, most of all the goods that he wants, but he's setting it up for a way, making these food shortages and things like that in a way where he can control it at a level like never before. Okay, he's all these little local supermarkets that you may see, right? Eventually, all of them are about to be put out of business, and it's about to be these big box supermarket stores only. Okay, like the Walmarts and Costco's and those type of stores, right? All these little mom and pop shops and little local meat markets, all those are about to be put out of business very soon. All right, the way he is setting this thing up, and this was coming though. Famines at a great level. So I got a few articles I want to go through the spirit. All right, and this article is back in June. Okay, but how much more now? How much more now? And we're in late August, right? So it says meat plus poultry map COVID-19 meat plant closures. All right, as you see the sign, we are closed due to coronavirus quarantine. Sorry for inconvenience. And I said, this thing happened without a warning. So these plants weren't prepared to sell things for a cheaper price and get rid of all their goods quickly so they could have room to store their new items. No, it wasn't given that warning. So when the time came, all their stuff was already full and they couldn't push no more out. What happens to the fresh stuff, right? Now you got to start tossing things away just to make room, because now you don't have the room for it. You see? Because in these type of businesses, it's constant movement. Like the water, it's a constant flow, and for it to be holded, as quick as it did, and as sudden, right? And not just sudden for a long period of time. That put farmers at hurt. That put farmers at hurt. But there's a scripture. Let's matter of factly, let's go to oh man, gonna pull up with your madness plan. It's the book of Isaiah 19 in Salakia for that madness somebody got playing in the background. It says oh boy, this is not that one. I don't think I wanted this one. Yeah, it's not that one. It's it was in book of farmers. Nope, it's not in there. It's in the Apocrypha though. Can't think of it. But it says something about the farmers to that effect. It says basically that the seeds will be failing. Let's see. It don't even, nope, won't pop up. Sorry though. So let's continue on. It says, so Kansas City, Missouri, meatpoultry.com will be tracking the state of plant closures throughout the United States and Canada, right? So let's just go to the map for the length of time. It shows you the temporary meat plant closures. And this is up from June 26, 2020, And there's more plant closures that happened since then, all right? Week of June 16th, it says, after reporting hundreds of COVID-19 cases, JBS USA beef plant in Hiroma, Utah, began operating with limited capacity in mid-June, resumed full operations June 19th. Dale T. Smith and Sons Meat Packaging Company in Draper, Utah, was closed following a COVID-19 outbreak from June 11th to the 21st. All right, when you read down, these different big meat plants, it shows you the closings and why it was related and how long, all right? But nevertheless, this was all due to the COVID-19 pandemic/plandemic, okay? As you can see here. But how much more as time went on, all right? Now, this is goes into a little bit more interesting facts. So the food chain's weakest link, slaughterhouses. A relatively small number of plants process much of the beef and pork in the United States, and some of them have closed because workers are getting sick. The modern American slaughterhouse is a very different place from one that Upton Sinclair depicted in his early 20th century novel, The Jungle. Many are giant, sleek, refrigerated assembly lines, staffed mostly by unionized workers who slice, debone, and gut snatch hog and beef carcasses under constant oversight of government inspectors. The jobs are often grueling and sometimes dangerous, but pork and beef producers boast about having some of the most heavily sanitized workplaces of any industry. Yet meat plants, honed over decades for maximum efficiency and profit, have become major hotspots for the coronavirus pandemic, with some reporting widespread illnesses among their workers. The health crisis has revealed how these plants are becoming the weakest link in the nation's food supply chain, posing a serious challenge to meat production. After decades of consolidation, there are about 800 federally inspected slaughterhouses in the United States, processing billions of pounds of meat for food stores each year, but a relatively small number of them account for the vast majority of production. In the cattle industry, a little more than 50 plants are responsible for as much as 98% of slaughtering and processing in the United States, according to the Cassandra Fish and Beef Analyst. The point is, in this section here, it says shutting down one plant, even for a few weeks, is like closing an airport hub. It backs up hog and beef production across the country, crushes prices paid to farmers, and eventually leads to months of meat shortages. Slaughterhouses are a critical bottleneck in the system, said Julie Niederhoff, an associate professor of supply chain management at Syracuse University. When they go down, we are in trouble. And they talking about weeks. There has been plants closed down for months. Okay, so they said in just a few weeks, right? This would take trouble would take place. So how much more months? You see, months, and there's over 2-3 dozen of meat plants being closed. Okay, so the effects of this COVID-19, it's coming. Okay, the effects are coming quick. You see, and as you see in these different stores, meat is starting to skyrocket. All right, if you're paying attention to what's going on. It says the ripple effects of the virus are now being felt across the entire meat supply chain, all the way to the grocery store freezers. Like I have been saying, you have been seeing less meat, and the meat that you do see now, the prices are jumping. Okay, it says more than a dozen beef, pork, and chicken processing plants have closed or are running at great reduced speeds because of the pandemic. This past week, the number of cattle slaughtered dropped nearly 22% from the same period a year ago, while hog slaughter was down 6%. According to the Department of Agriculture, the decline is partly driven by the shutdown of restaurants, right? That's one of them, and hotels. But plant closings have also caused a major disruption, leaving many ranchers with nowhere to send their animals, right? Even as one prominent meat executive warned on Easter that the nation was perilously close to a meat shortage. State and federal regulators have been sending mixed signals to the industry about how to deal with the crisis. And it goes further down into the article. You can read this. I don't have as much time, But as it's saying, with these shutdowns, it's forcing these farmers with nowhere to send their meat or their cattle, right, to be slaughtered in the way that they're supposed to be slaughtered. Okay, and with them not going to these processing plants, what happens next? Not going to the processing plants, then these same cattle don't end up on your shelves, which you usually buy and go take home to cook. You see, but the point of this lesson that the famines is coming, man. Right? So let's just type in the word famine. Let's pull a few scriptures. I gotta head back into work. All right. So let me see. So let's go to the book of Psalms 105 verse 16. It says, "Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He break the whole staff of bread," right? And this has happened before, and the same thing as you see is happening right now. Okay. Jeremiah 11 verse 22, it says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword, their sons and their daughters shall die by famine." And this is a lot of our people. This is going to be the judgment of a lot of our people, man. We talk about World War III. We talk about the race wars. We talk about the concentration camps. We talk about the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. We talk about all these things of how a lot of our people are going to get judged in many ways. But one of them is the famine that's coming. Okay? One of them is the famine. You see? Let's get the one in Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel 7 verse 15, it says, "The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." You see? And when you go down, I want to get one in the book of I believe it's in the book of Second Esdras, because it speaks about it'd be better to die by the sword than to die of a famine. All right, let's go to the book of Second Esdras 15 verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the earth, plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." You see? Verse 49, "I will send plagues upon the widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death." You see? Actually can't find the other one right about now, but you get the point. You see? You get the point. You see what's coming, right? You see what's coming upon the earth, and famine is one of them, man. Okay, so all the signs that the Lord spoke about, they're all being made manifest. You see? They're all being made manifest. Okay? So, hey, man, it's time for Jake. It's time for Jake. You better repent. Return back into your How About Shem Yahushua, man. Or get caught in one of these plagues that the Lord is sending upon earth. All right? So, Lord, when I hope this quick lesson was edifying. Until next time, I want to say shalom.